All right. Okay, it's on the YouTube. I'm doing both, so it's like a belt and suspenders type situation going on here. Good afternoon.
Hello, Your Honor.
Long time no see. How have you been?
I've been doing good. I just keep on not getting my cases in your court. I don't know why.
I don't know either. Okay, I think I brought in Mr. Harvey.
Yes, he seems to be there.
Let's
He's
see.
connecting right now.
Okay, yeah, he's still connecting. I'm gonna go back to my other view. Here we go. It might. He may have stepped away from his device. Do you have any way of contacting him by text?
I will have my paralegal do that right now.
Okay, yeah, that's usually the screen I get when they have stepped away from their device to go walk the dog or whatever.
There he is.
Oh, he's not walking the dog. He's in the office.
There he is.
He went to go grab a cup of coffee. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Harvey. Uh-oh.
Oops. That's not good.
He clicked on something. Hold on. I think I can bring him back. He's still there. Nope, he disconnected.
Okay.
He's back.
Okay. He knows how to use it, so.
Okay, good. He doesn't require the assistance of a teenager nearby.
Right. That a lot of my clients I have come into the office to do hearings, just hopefully to get it done right.
The Zoom learning curve is, it's kind of.
Yes.
But Mr. Harvey looks like he's a pro. Oh, then he shakes his head. No. He might have a connection issue. Mm-hmm. Oh, there he is. You got it. But you're on mute. Mr. Harvey, can you unmute? There we go.
Sorry, Judge.
It's okay. It's all right. It's a Monday. We understand. Oh, and then he left again. I think he's got some internet issues. Let's see if he comes back. He may need to use a different device, like his phone.
Okay. Yeah, tell her to see if you can use his phone.
He's back. I'm going to bring him in.
Don't get up.
Well, he's in there. He's in here.
Let me see.
Yeah, I think he's having some connection issues.
All right, I'm at least unmuted.
Okay, that's a start.
There's a
There
picture.
he is.
There we go.
Thank you. I'm not touching anything else.
I know, we're gonna go fast so we don't lose you.
Perfect. Thanks.
Talk as fast as you can. No, I'm just kidding. We should be fine. Okay, can you raise your right hand to be sworn, Mr. Harvey? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you will give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, Ms. Duff, you may proceed.
Thank you so much. Mr. Harvey, could you please state your name for the record?
My name is Michael Debs Harvey.
And you're the son of Janice M. Harvey, is that correct?
I am. I'm the oldest.
And she passed away on or about March 2nd, 2023 in Houston, Fort Bend County, Texas. Is that correct? Actually, it was Mission Bend, Fort Bend County, Texas.
No, she passed away in hospice in Harris County.
Okay. All right. So she passed away in Harris County, Texas. But
Correct.
she was, at the time of her death, she was 84 years old and she was residing at Meadows Place in Fort Bend County, Texas at or before her death. Is that correct?
No,
That was her residence, correct?
no. Her residence is 10530 Judea Lane, and that's
Okay.
Houston, Texas, 77099.
Okay. But that's a Fort Bend County address, correct?
It's a Fort Bend County address.
Okay. All right. And she prepared a will on October 9th, 2018. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And when she passed away, she had not revoked her will. Is that correct?
That's also correct.
Your Honor, do I need to show it to him or?
I can do it.
Okay,
In just a second.
I'll continue on briefly with him.
Okay.
Was there a child or children born to or adopted by Ms. Harvey after the execution of her will?
No,
All right. And at the time of the execution of the will, was she of sound mind and at least 18 years of age?
she's as sharp as she could be.
And did she have a marriage dissolve after the will was made?
She did not.
Okay. And have 4 years elapsed between her death and the date when this application for the probate was filed?
Repeat the question, please.
Okay. Have 4 years passed since the date of her death and the date the application for probate was filed?
No,
Okay. And is there is the state of Texas or a charity a devisee under her will?
there is not.
Okay. Now you're looking at on your screen the last will and testament of Janice M. Harvey. Do you recognize that?
I do. I have a copy in my possession.
Okay. And if we go back to the last page, do you recognize her signature on, this is the next to last page, which is her signature line. Do you recognize her signature on that?
I do. That's Mom's signature.
All right. And then she also signed a self-proving affidavit on the next page, did she not?
That's Mom's signature as well.
Okay. And at the time of her death, she owned property in Fort Bend County, Texas that needs to be probated. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's a necessity for the administration of her estate.
There is.
And this is a non-taxable estate. Are you asking that appraisers be waived?
Yes,
Okay. And that all you'll have to do is file an inventory and appraisement in the with the county clerk in this matter. Is that correct?
yes,
All right. And does the will appoint you, Michael Debs Harvey, as independent executor of her will?
it does.
And is there any reason that you would not be able to serve as independent executor?
No,
And the will also states that you should serve without bond. Is that correct?
correct.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All righty, Mr. Harvey, thank you for your testimony and your perseverance. Based upon your testimony, I will sign your mother's will into probate and appoint you as the independent executor without the requirement of a bond. And I am waiving the necessity for appraisers as well. You're going to get some instructions from the court about your role and obligation as the independent executor. And I'm sure that Ms. Duff has already gone over that with you. If not, I'm sure she'll answer any questions that you have. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If there's nothing, you're welcome. If there's nothing else, then you are both excused. Have a wonderful afternoon.
I can go back to reading reports.
Stay cool and hydrated.
Thank you so much.
It's good to see you, Judge.
All right. Same to you. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, Kathy or Tamara. I don't see Kathy in here. Is Tamara on? Is Jeffrey, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to try this one. Hold on. Good afternoon, Mr. Docket.
Good afternoon, Judge.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I see that you have your witnesses there, Mr. Gray and Miss Matthews.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Gray and Miss Matthews, if you will each raise your right hands to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you'll give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Doggett, you may proceed.
Thank you. I'm going to start with Christopher Gray. Could you please state your full name?
Christopher Brian Gray,
And how are you related to Esther Adrian Gray?
husband.
And your wife passed away on April 5th, 2023 in Fort Bend County, Texas.
Yes,
And at the time of her death, was she residing in Fort Bend County, Texas?
yes,
And she died without revoking her will, which is dated March 31st, 2023.
yes,
And did she have any children born to her or adopted by her?
no, sir.
Okay. At the time she executed her will, was she of sound mind, at least 18 years old?
Yes,
And did she ever have a marriage dissolved?
no,
And of course, it hasn't been 4 years since the date of her death.
no,
Did she leave anything to the state of Texas or any charity in her will?
no,
And there is a necessity for the administration of her estate.
yes,
And the will, your wife's will appoints you and Jeanette Matthews as independent co-executors.
yes,
And is there any reason why you cannot be an independent co-executor?
no.
I'll call my next witness, Judge.
All right, go ahead.
Ms. Matthews, could you state your full name for the court?
Jeanette Forrester Matthews.
And you were Adrian's mother, is that correct?
Yes,
And you just heard the testimony that Christopher gave, and if I asked you the same questions, would your answers be the same?
yes, they would.
And there is no reason why you cannot serve as an independent co-executor either.
No reason.
Judge, that's all the testimony I have. We ask that will be admitted to probate and that Christopher Brian Gray and Jeanette Matthews be appointed as independent co-executors without bond, and that appraisers be waived.
All right, thank you both for your testimony. And just as an aside, I did a lot of work with Lunches of Love, and your wife and your daughter will be truly missed in our community. We are so grateful for her commitment. I delivered lunches for a little while, and to see the smiles of those kids when they run up to get their lunches during the summer there's nothing like it. So we are all grateful for her commitment and her mission, and I know that you guys are going to carry it on. That building over there in Rosenberg is beautiful, and it is certainly a tribute to her creativity and her love for the community. So if nobody else tells you, and I'm sure they have because she was very well loved, but just know that she will be missed and that she was very much appreciated for what she did for everybody. I actually, on my probation pleas in my court, I do a $50 donation as a requirement of probation for every person that comes through my court. They do a $50 donation to Lunches of Love, and we'll continue to do that as long as I'm on the bench. So
Yes, ma'am.
with that,
Okay.
I
We
will
really-
admit
We really
her
appreciate
will
that
into
also.
probate and appoint the both of you as independent co-executors without the requirement of a bond, and I'm waiving the necessity for appraisers. You'll get them. Oh, it is my pleasure. There's a little delay there, so I just kept talking because I didn't think that you guys heard me. You're going to get some instructions from the court with instructions about how to carry out your role as the co-executors, and I'm sure Mr. Doggett will go over that if he hasn't already. Really appreciate her contribution. I hope that Lunches of Love carries on and her legacy continue.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. If there's nothing else, Mr. Doggett, then you are all excused. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye. Good afternoon. Oh, you've got to connect to your audio. Oh, there we go. Now you need to unmute. And then I'll be able to hear you because I know you can hear me. I think we got it. Uh-oh. You're unmuted, but I still can't hear you. On the little mute, the little button at the bottom that says mute, there's a little bitty arrow right next to it. If you click on that little bitty arrow and go to your audio settings, you may be able to figure out, because the microphone is not, it's not picking up what you're saying. Can you hear me? I don't even think they can hear me. Can you hear me? You can hear me? Yes? Okay. Here, I'm gonna try to show you. So I can. I can see that you guys are connected to the audio. I'm just not sure. And you're not muted, so there's something with your microphone on your computer. Because I can see you, but I can't hear you. Do you see the audio settings? Have you been able to get to the audio settings? You also may be able to use your phone and dial into the audio, so you can have audio on the phone and video on the computer. That's a possibility as well. I see it's trying to connect to the audio. Hi, so I can see, but I can see you, but I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Nope. Can't hear me because he's not connected to his audio. See. Connected now. Let me see. Okay, you are connected to your audio. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me right now? You can hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, so there's something with the microphone on your end because you're connected to the audio and you're not on mute. So there's something on your microphone setting. If you look on that little in the bottom right hand corner where the little mute button is, there's a little bitty caret, like a little arrow. You click on that and then go to audio settings and do like a test your mic or look at the mic levels. That might fix the microphone issue. I'm going to share my screen so maybe you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. Can you see on my screen down menu is this little white box that says set screen? That's where the microphone. It might also help if you disconnect and log in again. So I'm gonna kick you out, and then if you log in again, it may fix the settings. Okay, I'm gonna kick you out and then you can log in. I hope they heard me. Okay, I'm gonna go get these guys and finish the last one and then we'll go back to them. Tamara, if they're calling or emailing, just let them know. I kicked them out so they could reconnect. Good afternoon. Oh, you're on mute.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Got it. All right.
Good afternoon.
All right. Good afternoon. Okay. Oh, hang on. I backed out of something and I should. Okay. So while we're doing that, we have is Mr. Broussard there with you, Mr.
Mr.
Anderson?
Broussard is here. Mrs. Broussard is coming in, so they're
Okay.
going to both give testimony.
Okay. And then we have Mr. and Mrs. Jeter.
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. If I could have everyone please raise your right hands to be sworn. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you'll give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, my internet's been a little bit unstable, so if I freeze or pause, don't worry about me, just keep going.
Okay.
I'll come back. Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Your Honor.
Anderson.
Your Honor, is the ad litem present?
Let's see, Miss Cope. You know what? I do not have anyone else in my waiting room. So she is not. I haven't seen her actually in the waiting room all afternoon.
Well, she has filed a report and so I'm fine with proceeding without her if you are, Your Honor.
Okay, this is for Miss Broussard. CB. Let me just check to make sure I see her report in there. This is for airship. I see her answer, but I don't see a report.
She filed it late last week. It may not have been entered yet.
Okay. Yeah, I don't, it's not here. Is there any way that you can call or email her? Because without her report, I don't have
Okay,
any way of proceeding.
I'm just going to mute myself temporarily, Your Honor. I'm going to go ahead and try to
No
call her.
problem. Okay.
Your Honor, I've talked to her assistant and she's trying to locate her. Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Bye. Your Honor, she's at the courthouse, but she's going to go ahead and get on Zoom. She has her laptop with her, so she's going to get on momentarily.
Okay, that's perfect. Because I'm not at the courthouse. That's the beauty of the Zoom. I don't
Yes, it
actually
is.
have to be at the courthouse today. So I know it looks like, my background looks very official, but yeah, no, I'm not at the courthouse today. But if she needs a place to, if she needs to get into our courtroom, my bailiff is there and he can unlock the door if she needs to come into the conference room. I'm not sure where she is.
I'm not either, but
Okay.
she should be. I'll get a call back, I'm sure, if there's
Okay.
an issue.
Okay, well, we'll just give her a few minutes to log on.
Okay.
As soon as I see her in the waiting room, I'll bring her in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is she with Libby King?
Yes, Your Honor, and my assistant is on the phone with her right now. I think she's about to log in.
Okay, I see a Libby King, but
Okay,
on my,
that's her.
okay. On my docket, it says Brittany Copes. That's why I was like, hold on. All right, there we are. Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Cope.
I apologize, Your Honor. I just thought maybe you were running late and then the door was locked.
Don't even worry about it. No, I am not there. Yeah, so it's not a problem at all. Happy to have you. And now we can get started. Okay, Mr. Anderson, I swore everybody in, right?
You did, Your Honor. So,
All right, well, you may proceed then.
okay, thank you. Mr. Broussard, please state your name for the record.
Christopher Broussard?
And Chloe Michelle Broussard was your daughter, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And is it true that she died on December 27th, 2022 in Rockport, Aransas County, Texas at the age of 15?
Yes, sir.
And was she domiciled and did she have a fixed place of residence here in Fort Bend County at that time?
Yes, sir.
And she never left a will, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you and your wife, Jamie, who is sitting here with you today, are her only heirs, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I mean, and you're her parents.
Yes, sir. That is
Okay.
correct.
And she never had any children, as far as you know.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. And she was never married.
She was never married. That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. And okay, I believe that's all I have for this witness on the airship. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Ms. Cope, any questions for Mr. Broussard?
No, Your Honor, not for this witness.
Okay. All right, you may proceed, Mr. Anderson.
Okay. Let me move my screen a little bit.
Okay.
Ms. Broussard, please state your name for the record.
Jamie Broussard.
And Ms. Broussard, you heard the questions that I asked your husband just a moment ago.
Yes,
You are the mother of Chloe Michelle Broussard, is that correct?
yes,
And would your answer to my questions be the same as his?
yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, any questions for this witness, Ms. Cope?
No, Your Honor, not for this witness.
Okay, you may proceed, Mr. Anderson.
Ms. Jeter, please state your name for the record.
Rachel Jeter.
Okay. And tell me, how long have you known the deceased, Chloe Michelle Broussard?
Since the day she was born.
You've known her her entire life,
Yes, sir.
and you're well acquainted with her family history.
Yes, I am.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, she never made a will, is that correct?
That is correct.
And she was never married and she never had any children, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, you're not an heir and you have no interest in this estate, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, and is it your testimony that at the time of her death, her parents, Christopher and Jamie Broussard, that those were her parents and they were both living at the time of her death?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, any questions for Ms. Jeter, Ms. Cope?
Yes, Your Honor. Hi, Ms. Jeter. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you and I spoke on the phone a few weeks ago. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And we talked about Miss Chloe Broussard and your knowledge of her family history. Is that right?
That is correct.
And you've known her since birth, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And as far as you know, was she ever married?
She was not.
And as far as you know, did she ever have any children?
She did not.
Okay. And so as far as you know, her parents are her only heirs, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And are you receiving any compensation for your testimony today?
No.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Cope. Mr. Anderson, you may call your next witness.
Thank you. Mr. Jeter, please state your name.
Zach Jeter.
Okay. And you've also known the deceased Chloe Michelle Broussard since birth, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now and you're married to Rachel Elizabeth Jeter, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you listened to your wife's testimony just now. And would your answers to my questions be exactly the same as hers?
Exactly the same.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, Ms. Cope, any questions for Mr. Jeter?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Jeter, you and I spoke on the phone several weeks ago. Do you recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we talked about Ms. Broussard's family history, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and if I were to, and did you hear the questions that I just asked your wife a moment ago?
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to ask you those same questions, would your answers be the same as hers?
They would be exactly the same.
Okay, and just to confirm, you're not receiving any compensation for your testimony here today, are you?
I am not.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that is all the testimony we have on the airship. We've submitted a proposed judgment, which both I and the attorney ad litem have signed off on, and we ask that you enter an order that determining that Christopher and Jamie Broussard are the only heirs of the deceased.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anderson. And Mr. and Mrs. Broussard, may I first offer my condolences for your loss and just give you some comfort in knowing that this is a part of the closure process. And so I wish you a very prayerful and speedy transition as you deal with the loss of your daughter. So I'm very, very sorry for your loss. And with that, I will sign the order identifying the heirs of Chloe Broussard as Christopher Broussard and Jamie Broussard. I am discharging Ms. Cope as the attorney ad litem. And Ms. Cope, I know Mr. Anderson said that you filed the report. Unfortunately, it has not been scanned into the court's file yet. And so I don't see the report or your request for your fee. So what is your fee amount?
$750, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And that's already been agreed upon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, excellent. So I will discharge Ms. Cope and grant your fee in the amount of $750. And with that ends the airship proceeding. Mr. Anderson, do you have any additional prove-up questions for the independent administration?
I do, Your Honor. I
Okay.
need to recall Christopher Broussard for just a moment, please.
No problem. Ms. Cope, if you don't have to stay, you're excused because your portion is done. So have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor, and I apologize again for my tardiness.
No, it's not your fault, not at all. Have a good day. Okay, Mr. Anderson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Broussard, you're still under oath. I just need to ask you a few questions about the administration of the estate. Again, your daughter did not leave a will, correct?
That's correct.
And you and your wife, who are the only heirs, have agreed on an independent administration. You've requested that the two of you be appointed as the independent co-administrators, and you've asked the court to waive bond and have requested that no action be had in this court other than what is required by law, such as the filing of an inventory. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. I passed the witness. Your Honor, I just need to ask Jamie Broussard a few questions and then I'm done.
No problem. Go right ahead.
Ms. Broussard, you heard the questions I just posed to Chris a few minutes ago. Would your answers to those questions be exactly the same?
They would.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, at this time, I ask that that an independent administration be created, that the Broussards be appointed as the independent co-administrators, that bond be waived, and since this is a non-taxable estate, we've asked that appraisers be waived as well.
All right, Mr. Anderson, thank you so much. Based on your testimony, I will sign the order. And the court finds that Chloe Broussard died without a will and that there is a necessity for the administration. I'm going to appoint Christopher Broussard and Jamie Broussard as the independent co-administrators of the estate without the requirement of a bond. If there is nothing else, Mr. Anderson, then you are all excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful afternoon.
You too.
You
You too.
You're on mute.
Unmute.
Oh,
Yay!
oh my God.
I'll get out of the way.
We're so sorry.
Oh my gosh, you don't have to apologize. I completely understand. Sometimes
we
those
got-
devices, they have a
I got a
mind
new-
of their own.
I got a new computer and the IT guy didn't check this out. So we're borrowing somebody
no.
else's in our office. Mr. Carson is making his way here.
No problem. We like to blame the IT guys in the courthouse too.
Hey, I'm all for that. Okay, here's Mr. Carson, and they're gonna stand
Hello,
right here.
Mr. Carson.
Good
And I
morning,
believe
Your
we have
Honor.
Miss. is
Good
it Mrs.
afternoon,
Plummer
ma'am.
there. Good afternoon. Do we have Miss Plummer there?
Yes.
Ray, just raise your hand.
All right,
so we
Mrs.
see you sitting
Plummer.
there.
Now that you can, well, I can hear you. You could see me and hear me, but I could see you guys, but I couldn't hear you. So now that everybody can hear and see, Ms. Plummer, can you please raise your right hand to be sworn?
Raise your right hand.
Raise your
Right.
hand.
Right hand.
Yeah,
This
just
one.
so I can see it. That's perfect. I'm going to assume that's your hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you'll give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Carson, you may
Yes.
proceed.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Would you state your name for the court, please?
Jennifer Burr Plummer,
And what's your relationship to George Holland Plummer?
his wife.
And did George Holland Plummer die on or about February the 4th, 2013 in Missouri City, Fort Bend County, Texas, at the age of 76?
Yes,
And was George Holland Plummer residing in Missouri City at and before his death?
yes.
I'd like to show you the will. Your Honor, I have a copy of the will.
Okay.
And
Does the court want to display one?
yes,
I can
Let me-
I can put it on the screen. Give
Okay.
it just a minute, let me pull it up. So then Miss Plummer can just testify to what she sees on the screen.
Yeah.
Hang on, here it is. My computer's moving a little slow, so give me just a minute. It's downloading.
No problem.
I don't know what's wrong with it. It says it's down. Oh, here it is. It's really slow. What is going on? Hmm.
Or we could go ahead. We can go ahead with a copy of the original if she wants.
Here we go. No, I have it right here.
Okay.
Here it is. I'm sorry. Here it is. I got
No
it.
apologies after what we've gone through.
Everybody's having technical difficulties.
Oh,
There we go. Can she see that on the screen, Mrs. Plummer? Can you see that?
No.
No.
there
It
it is.
is.
There it is.
Now we have it.
There we go.
There is a copy that purports to be your husband's last will and testament. And you recognize that will?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And did he sign that will on June 26th, 1998? And I'll show you his signature
Yes,
on the will,
yes.
a copy of it.
Yes,
And is that his signature? on
it is
the
his signature. Yes,
And it was properly witnessed,
yes,
and it has a self-proving affidavit on it. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay. At the time of execution of the will, was George Holland Plummer of sound mind and at least 18 years of age?
yes,
Was there a child or children born to or adopted by George Holland Plummer after execution of the will?
no,
Did George Plummer ever have a marriage dissolved after the will was made?
no,
A 4-year elapsed since your husband's death and the application of probate filed?
No.
yes,
No.
no, sorry, no,
Is the state, number 10, is the state of Texas a political subdivision or any charity a devotee under George's will?
no,
Does a necessity exist for the administration of George Plummer's estate?
yes,
Does the will appoint you, Jennifer Burr Plummer, as independent executrix?
yes,
And is there any reason why you should not serve as independent executrix?
no,
Your Honor, this will is made self-proved by the appropriate affidavit. This is a non-taxable estate. We request that the court waive the appraisers and the bond. And
All right,
that's all we
thank
have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Carson and Mrs. Plummer. Based upon your testimony, I will sign the order admitting your husband's will to probate and appointing you as the independent executor without the requirement of a bond. I'm waiving the necessity for appraisers, and you'll get some instructions from the court with instructions about how you will carry out your obligations as the independent executor. And I'm sure that Mr. Carson will go over those with you if he hasn't already.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. We surely appreciate
Yes,
all of your
you.
time and efforts.
You are welcome, and thank you for your persistence.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
thank you
right,
very much.
you're welcome. Have a wonderful afternoon. Everyone is excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Oh, boy.